Picture Sicily, October 1347. A ship limps into the harbor at Messina. Sailors stagger off, pale and coughing. Their bodies are covered in strange black boils. Within days, half the city is sick. But it isn't just the disease that spreads, it's the stories.
God is punishing us. The air has been poisoned. The Jews are poisoning the wells. A black cloud follows the armies, bringing death.
None of these stories are true, and yet they move faster than the plague itself, leaping from village to village, whispered by terrified merchants and pilgrims. What we are witnessing here in the mid-14th century is not just one of the deadliest pandemics in history, it is also one of the first global outbreaks of rumor. And here's the shocking truth. Misinformation like this has shaped human history long before social media. From ancient empires to medieval trade routes, rumors have been the original virus, contagious, mutating, and powerful enough to topple kings. Let's step back even further to ancient Rome. A crowd gathers in the forum. A whisper passes among them. The emperor is dead. Panic breaks out. Traders begin selling off goods. Soldiers sharpen swords, expecting riots. Hours later, the emperor himself appears in public, alive and well. The rumor? Completely false. But in that short window, it shook the capital of the most powerful empire on earth. The Romans even personified rumor itself. They called her Fama, a goddess with 1,000 eyes, ears, and tongues, fluttering through the world spreading half-truths. Virgil described her as a monster, huge and terrible, swift of wing, who grows as she goes. Sound familiar? It's basically the world's first description of something going viral. Back to the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1351, it killed as many as 200 million people. But the stories people told were just as deadly. In Strasbourg, whispers began.
The Jews poisoned the wells.
Within weeks, mobs massacred thousands of Jewish families, not because of the plague itself, but because of the rumor. In Paris, university doctors told the king that the plague came from an unusual alignment of Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, which had corrupted the air. People lit giant bonfires in the streets, hoping the smoke would cleanse the sky. Meanwhile, traveling preachers claimed to have seen the black cloud of death, a dark mist that moved across the land, suffocating villages in its path. People swore they had seen it with their own eyes. When fear meets uncertainty, rumor becomes a weapon, and during the plague, it killed almost as efficiently as the disease. May 29th, 1453. Constantinople falls to the Ottoman Turks. The greatest Christian city of the East is gone, but in Europe, ordinary people don't get a reliable news report. They get rumors. One story claims the last emperor, Constantine XI, didn't really die. Instead, an angel turned him into marble and hid him beneath the city walls, where he sleeps, waiting to rise again. Another rumor insists that the Hagia Sophia, the great cathedral, is supernaturally protected, that no matter what the Ottomans do, it will never truly become a mosque. These weren't just idle stories. They became legends, shaping centuries of Greek folklore and resistance. Even today, you'll find Greeks who know the tale of the Marble King. A rumor born in panic became a national myth. Here's where it gets fascinating. Rumors didn't just stay local. They traveled the Silk Road, carried by merchants, envoys, and missionaries. When the Mongols thundered out of the steppes in the 13th century, Europeans whispered that they were cannibals who drank the blood of their enemies. Meanwhile, in China, stories spread that Europeans were red-haired, long-nosed barbarians with monstrous appetites. Each side created myths about the other, early forms of misinformation that shaped diplomacy and warfare. Rumors, like silk and spices, were a commodity. They moved across deserts, through ports, and into the minds of people who had never even seen the lands they were talking about. But why did rumors matter so much in an age without newspapers or the internet? Because information itself was a kind of currency. Merchants who heard whispers of plague might avoid certain ports. Armies that believed in exaggerated enemy numbers might retreat before the battle even began. In a world where communication traveled only as fast as a horse or a ship, a rumor could shift markets, save lives, or destroy them long before the truth arrived. In fact, empires understood this power. The Romans had a word for it: fama, fame, rumor, reputation. Roman generals sometimes planted false rumors about their enemies, sending spies to accidentally spread gossip in marketplaces. These weren't just lies. They were weapons of psychology, and often the rumor won the war before a single sword was drawn. The real tragedy is that rumors often spread faster than truth because they're more exciting. A story about poisoned wells or demonic ships was more dramatic than a doctor explaining fleas and rats. And so just like today, people often chose the version that felt shocking, terrifying, or entertaining. In this way, the rumor didn't just report history, it became history. But rumors weren't just background noise, sometimes they won wars. During the First Crusade in 1098, the Crusader army was starving and on the verge of defeat in Antioch. Suddenly, a peasant claimed to discover the Holy Lance, the spear that pierced Christ's side. Word spread like wildfire. Morale soared. Soldiers believed God was on their side, and they launched a miraculous victory. Later, chroniclers suspected the lance was planted, a medieval psyop that changed the course of the Crusades. Across the world in China, false rumors about imperial assassinations sparked uprisings. In Rome, whispers of betrayal toppled senators. Rumor in the right place and time was as powerful as any sword. But here's the real question. How did rumors spread so far, so fast, without newspapers, without radio, without TikTok? The answer's simple: networks of people. Merchants were like human accounts, carrying stories from one city to the next. Pilgrims told tales at roadside inns. Monks copied strange letters into chronicles. Sailors exaggerated in taverns. A shocking story might leave Constantinople on Monday and arrive in Venice by Friday, not through official messengers, but through 100 retellings. And the rule of rumor was always the same. The stranger the story, the faster it spread. It's the same principle behind modern clickbait. Humans have always been addicted to the unbelievable. Not everyone was fooled. Medieval chroniclers often ranted about the foolish tales peasants believed. In England, King Henry VIII went so far as to pass a law in 1530, making it illegal to spread false news about the crown. Yes, fake news laws existed centuries before Facebook, but no matter what kings or clerics did, they couldn't stop the flow. Rumors, once released, had a life of their own. So, what was the first global rumor? Was it the poisoned wells of the Black Death? The marble king of Constantinople? The monstrous Mongols? The truth is, there isn't just one. Humanity has always lived in an information war. Rumors spread across empires long before fiber optic cables. They shaped wars, toppled rulers, and created myths that survive to this day. And maybe, just maybe, the next time we scroll past a viral conspiracy, we should remember we're not witnessing something new. We're witnessing something ancient, Because long before the internet, long before newspapers, the first global rumor was already out there, changing history. If you enjoyed this dive into the hidden history of misinformation, hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who loves strange history. And tell me in the comments, what's the strangest rumor from history you've ever heard? Who knows? Maybe your story will become the next global rumor.